Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and stay tuned by clicking the bell icon. The Bold and the Beautiful Tuesday, November 25th recap. Dylan killed Luna, tells Electra the stunning truth. Tuesday's episode of The Bold and the Beautiful delivered the kind of jaw-dropping twist that sends shockwaves through the Forrester and Spencer worlds alike. What began as a day of rising tension ended with a confession no viewer saw coming, one that changes everything we thought we knew about Luna's tragic demise. With Electra at the center of the emotional storm and Dylan unraveling under the weight of his guilt, the episode set the stage for fallout that will touch every family in Los Angeles. Electra searches for clarity and closure. Electra started the episode spiraling between grief, anger, and confusion. Ever since Luna's fatal accident, nothing in her world has felt steady. She's been haunted by unanswered questions: how Luna ended up in the road, why the driver never came forward, and whether the truth was being buried to protect someone with influence. She tried to keep busy at Forrester Creations, diving into design work with a desperation that concerned even the typically work-obsessed Ridge. But nothing could quiet the gnawing wrench in her stomach. Brooke stopped by the design office, urging her to take time to heal, but Electra brushed it off. She insisted she needed answers more than rest. And Tuesday's episode made one thing clear: she was right. Dylan comes undone. Meanwhile, Dylan moved through the day like a man carrying a secret too heavy to drag another step. His behavior has been increasingly jittery for days, snapping at innocuous questions, withdrawing from conversations, and avoiding eye contact with anyone who might look too closely. But Tuesday marked a breaking point. He sat alone in his apartment, the lights low, staring at a cracked phone screen displaying a news headline about Luna's funeral arrangements. His hands shook so violently he dropped the phone. The weight of what he had done, and what he had concealed, finally came crashing down. The sound of a knock at the door made him jump like he'd been electrocuted. And of course, it was Electra. Electra demands answers. Electra didn't mince words. She sensed Dylan had been acting strangely, and she suspected he knew more about the accident than he'd admitted. She pushed past him and demanded he stop shutting her out. "Just tell me the truth," she pleaded. "Whatever it is, I can handle it. What I can't handle is being lied to, not after losing Luna." Dylan visibly cracked. Every muscle seemed to tremble as he tried to answer, opening his mouth but closing it again, like each word was stuck in cement. Electra's frustration turned to concern as she watched him crumble. "Dylan, what happened?" she whispered. He finally sank onto the couch, head in his hands, and the truth spilled out in a broken stream of words that changed the story forever. The stunning confession: Dylan killed Luna. In the most shocking moment of the episode, Dylan confessed the unthinkable. He was the driver who hit Luna. His voice was barely audible at first, but the details came clearer as the truth poured out. He had been rushing after an argument with his father. He wasn't watching the road, distracted by the text he swore he would never send. Luna had stepped into the street too suddenly, or maybe he had been going too fast. He didn't know anymore. Everything happened in a blinding second. By the time he slammed the brakes, it was already too late. Dylan admitted he panicked. Instead of calling for help, he fled, terrified of what would happen to him, terrified of the consequences, terrified of facing Electra and her family. "I was a coward," he choked out. "I didn't want to lose everything, so I ran. And Luna died." Electra froze, her expression a mix of disbelief, horror, and betrayal so palpable it practically echoed through the room. Electra's devastating reaction. The moment after the confession delivered some of the most emotional acting the show has seen in weeks. Electra went from shaking her head in denial, to pacing the room in shock, to standing in utter silence as she stared at the man she thought she knew. Her voice cracked when she finally spoke. "You killed her, and you let everyone suffer, and you let me suffer." Dylan begged her to understand he never meant for it to happen. He swore it was an accident. Tears streamed down his face as he insisted he was coming apart inside every day since. But Electra wasn't ready for forgiveness, not now, and maybe not ever. "You could have saved her," she whispered, her voice breaking completely. "You could have called someone. You could have tried. Instead you left her alone in the road like she didn't matter." She told him she needed space before she did something she couldn't take back. Her legs barely supported her as she walked to the door, and Dylan reached out as if to stop her, but he couldn't bring himself to touch her. When she slammed the door behind her, the sound echoed like a final judgment. The fallout begins. Electra stumbled out into the hallway, struggling to process everything she'd just learned. She didn't know whether to go to the police, confront the Forresters, or collapse right where she stood. The truth was too massive, too raw to hold. Inside, Dylan broke completely, sobbing, shaking, whispering apologies to a girl who would never hear them. And in the preview for next episode, the fallout promises to be seismic. Electra turns to Ridge and Brooke, but does she tell them the whole truth? Lee receives a shocking phone call, suggesting the investigation may take an unexpected turn. Dylan makes a desperate decision, hinting he may confess publicly before Electra beats him to it. And the Forresters brace themselves for the storm heading straight for them. Luna's death was already tragic, but Tuesday's confession transformed it into a ticking bomb set to explode in every direction. If you liked the video, don't forget to like, comment and share.